Hello everyone, this is Colleen Lemma, angelic astrologer and spiritual consultant from angelmessenger.net. And I'm here to do a soul reflections video for you today. I haven't done a soul reflections video in quite some time, and since we're in a new month of July and there's a lot of astrological and universal energies that are happening this month, so I thought it would be a great time to connect with you all and give you some information and check in and see how you're all doing. So this month of July 2014, I have felt for a very long time that it was going to be a month of change and redirection and freedom. And in fact, looking at the numerological vibration of this particular month for 2014, that's exactly what it is. Now, in general, we've been in a universal year of 2014, which vibrates to the number 7. And to me, it's a year where people are connecting more to their spiritual essence, their spiritual selves. They're starting to ask some really difficult questions of themselves, like who are they and what's the real purpose of what's going on this planet? Why are certain things happening? And it's been pushing them to find faith and trust within themselves and also within the world around them, and faith and trust in a universal source, whether you want to call it God, Great Spirit, all that is, God, Goddess. It doesn't matter what the terminology is. It's all the same one source that we're all connected to. And with this month of July, again, the vibration of this month, numerologically speaking, is a 5 vibration. And 5s are always about change and redirection and freedom, just as I said earlier. So again, I've been looking forward for a very long time, not just because of that, but because of the astrological occurrences too in July, for this month. When you think about last month in June, we had Mars finally going into direct motion, and it had been retrograde for quite some time, and it's been in Libra for quite some time. And with the planets, when they slow down to either go retrograde or go direct, especially with Mars, it slows down the energies because Mars rules our forward momentum, our action, our energy, whether that be physically speaking or putting our energy towards something. Kind of slows things down and makes us wait and have patience, which Libra is all about, balance and peace and at times having patience. So we had Mars go direct in June, and now it's starting to speed up back to its normal speed in this month of July. And not only is it speeding up, but it's going to change signs finally. It's going to move out of Libra. So we have Mars going into Scorpio later this month. And this isn't the only planet that we have changing signs. We actually have Mercury that just went direct recently, and it's going to be changing signs twice in this month of July. It will go into Cancer, or it's actually in Cancer, I believe, at the time of me speaking this. Either that or it's very close. And it's going to, at the very end of the month of July, go into the sign of Leo. We also have Jupiter. And Jupiter has been in Cancer for quite a long time as well, and it's finally going to be moving in this month into the sign of Leo. And I feel like it's going to be a lot happier there because Jupiter rules our perceptions and it rules expansion and growth. And in Cancer, it was all about our emotions and our feelings. So now we're going to be moving into Leo, which is all about our creative self-expression. So yay, we're actually going to be able to expand our creative self-expression, our creativity. And also Venus, the sign of love, planet of love and relationships, is going to be moving into the sign of Cancer also this month. So all kinds of planetary changes. But the biggest reason I wanted to make this video today, and the focus of what I wanted to talk about in this video, was the fact that we have Saturn, which is slowing down its retrograde motion. It's been retrograde in Scorpio for a while now. It's slowing down to go direct as of July 20th, 21st. And then Uranus, the planet that rules change and independence and freedom. It's in the sign of Aries. That's slowing down this month to turn retrograde, and that happens around July 20th, 21st. So within that 2-day period of time, we have Saturn that's going to be moving direct again, and Uranus that's going to be moving retrograde. And I feel that this is very important for a couple of reasons. One is because Saturn rules that third dimensional old paradigm that we've been operating under for a very, very long time. And Uranus rules the higher dimensional energies, the new paradigm. And again, if we think about the signs that these planets are in, Saturn being in the sign of Scorpio is bringing up karmic lessons, because Saturn in astrology is known as the Lord of Karma, and it teaches us great lessons in life. And Scorpio is all about power and control, and it's about money, and it's about transmuting lower vibrational energies into a higher vibration. It's about empowerment on the highest scale. So with Saturn being in Scorpio, it's bringing up these issues of self-empowerment. And especially when a planet slows down to either go retrograde or go direct, it intensifies and heightens the energy of the sign that it's in. So here we have Saturn having been retrograde for a while, which internalizes the energy. When a planet is retrograde, it internalizes that energy. So we've been dealing on an internal level of issues of self-empowerment, of stepping into our power, of owning our power, standing in our truth, and moving forward in that truth. And now it's becoming very heightened this month of July as it's starting to slow way down to turn to direct motion. Uranus, on the other hand, is about moving into the new paradigm, the higher dimensional energies, as I said before. It's about a new way of living, a new way of life. And because Uranus rules breaking free from limitations and confinements, and it's about stepping into freedom, and it's in the sign of Aries, which is about new beginnings. This is really about the new beginning of this new paradigm of energy that we're stepping into. Now, and again, with Uranus slowing down to go retrograde, it's been operating more in the outer world, and when it goes retrograde, it's going to be internalizing those energies to where we internally desire more of a sense of freedom, and internally we'll be desiring to break free of limitations and confinements. And I believe once it turns direct again, that's when a lot of those inner energies will then be acted out more on an outer level. But the other reason why I feel that this is important, Saturn turning direct and Uranus turning retrograde within 2 days of one another, is the fact that they're both at 16 degrees. Now Saturn's at 16 degrees of Scorpio, and Uranus is at 16 degrees of Aries. And again, with them both stationing and just kind of slowing down and sitting there, it heightens that energy. It heightens the energies that I just spoke of how they relate to you and to the world. But because they're both at 16 degrees, Scorpio and Aries makes what is called a quincunx aspect, or some astrologers call it an inconjunct. And what that means is that with a quincunx or an inconjunct, the energies need to adjust. There's some sort of adjustment that has to be made. And so on a larger scale, again for this month of July, being a month, a time of change and redirection and freedom, I feel that we are adjusting from the old paradigm, the old way of living, the old patriarchal system, if you will, to the new paradigm of energy, the new way, the new beginning of freedom for all, that we can look at all of humanity, all of our brothers and sisters as equal, and move into that time where we operate under that belief and under that truth. And so again, we're adjusting from the old to the new. We're adjusting from releasing that karma of Saturn and Scorpio, and we'll talk about that in a minute, to moving into these higher frequency of energies. So let's talk about what that adjustment means, because I feel that in this month of July, we're all going through, and we all will be going through as we move throughout the month, a lot of adjustments on physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual levels. And you may already be feeling this, probably for the last week or two, especially as it is growing in intensity. But on a physical level, and again, it depends on your own astrological blueprint, because we are all unique individual souls. On some level, you may relate to all of these things, but for you as an individual soul and your astrology, your astrological blueprint from the time of your birth, that will depend on maybe which one of you feels any of these patterns or any of these energies more so than maybe somebody else. Now, on a physical level, as Saturn is slowing down, and again, we're dealing with kind of purging out old karma of power and control issues, of disempowerment issues from previous lifetimes that we've lived here on this planet. I feel that in that purging, it's affecting the physical body. It's creating a time of maybe feeling less energy in the physical body. You might be feeling extremely tired lately and needing more sleep as you're going through this purging process of these old energies within the physical body. And the physical body, because it's the most dense, takes the longest to catch up as far as the evolutionary cycle. Again, we're all being bombarded in a good way with higher dimensional energies, and so it's affecting us on all of our spiritual bodies, mental body, emotional body, but the physical is the most dense, so it has the most difficult and challenging time to catch up, which is why it's so important to treat the body well and put high vibrational foods and clean purified water into it, and exercise, to make sure that it's able to take in these higher dimensional energies. But anyway, the tiredness factor. Now, conversely, on a physical level, you may be feeling the opposite, to where there's an electrical energy or an electrical charge, almost a feeling of anxiety and nervousness because your energy is buzzing, your body is buzzing with this higher dimensional energy. So it might be difficult to sleep at night. And you could be having both of these at the same time, at different times throughout the day or throughout the week. So again, the body might be going through some unusual and maybe undiagnosable symptoms, just to let you know. And I'm not saying to not go get things checked out if you feel that that's appropriate for you. But a lot of what's going on with the physical body is energetic, and so it's not going to have a logical explanation for it. On an emotional level, we are, again, purging old karmic energies, emotions, feelings that deal with power and control issues from the past, of stepping into, again, our empowerment, to step into our truth. Emotionally, we're having feelings of wanting to break free and break loose from anything that tries to hold us back or confines us. We're dealing with fears and anxieties and maybe some frustration and maybe even anger that's kind of coming up to the surface as it's being purged, and as we are moving into emotions of wanting to experience our true freedom. Mentally, we're dealing with old paradigm thinking or old belief systems, again, that we've operated under for a very long time and that are no longer valid for where we're going as humanity, as a world, as a society. We're dealing with doubts, within what direction we should go or what we should be doing. Always follow your passion, always follow your dreams. Because what's happening is that as our higher mental body is being affected, our higher mental body is being activated. This means that we are able to manifest our thoughts much more quickly. So you want to keep your thoughts positive. You want to keep your thoughts on joy and happiness and contentment and moving forward on your dreams, your goals, your passions. again, moving away from the lower thinking of any doubts or fears or negatives. Because again, as we move forward on our evolutionary journey and we're moving upward as far as our spiritual growth, we are able to take those visualizations and those thoughts that we have, and again, manifestation of those thoughts is happening on a much quicker level. So we're all becoming magicians, so to speak. It's like, you create a visualization in your mind, you speak a thought, and or you speak something into reality, into your truth. And then on a spiritual level, again, we're downloading these higher dimensional energies. Our DNA, our dormant DNA, is being activated, which, well, that's a whole nother video and a whole nother story of why it's not active. But, it's been purposely shut down from our connection to it, but now the energies are supporting the activation of all of our DNA, of all of our gifts, talents, and abilities. And we're breaking free of illusions. And what I mean by that is there's a lot of energies operating on this planet right now that are illusions. One such thing is, the monetary system on the planet, the media system on the planet. These are illusions. It's not the truth of what's going on or the truth of the way we should be operating on this planet. So again, on a spiritual level, we're breaking free of a lot of these illusions that we've been operating under, that we've been taught to operate under. And again, we're moving from third dimensional energies to fifth dimensional energies. Third dimensional energies, again, is where we've been operating, where things were slower in manifesting, things maybe didn't fall into place as easily. And as we move into fifth dimensional energies, this is a higher vibration, obviously. We're moving into not only fifth dimensional energies on the planet, but we're moving into our fifth dimensional bodies, our fifth dimensional crystalline light bodies, which is part of that DNA activation that's going on. So this is why I really feel that the Saturn going direct and the Uranus turning retrograde, it's very divine. It's very divine timing. It's very divinely guided, happening at the same time, basically. And within this month of July, that numerologically is this turning point of bringing forth change and bringing forth wanting to break free and have freedom within our lives as the free souls that we were meant to be. So I hope you've enjoyed the Soul Reflections video. I send you much love and light, and I send you many, many blessings, and I hope to connect with you all again soon.